And here we are again with Control. Probably,
Hey there, paisanos.
probably the last or second to last session of it, depending.
Depending on how long that other DLC takes, yeah, pretty much.
And depending
We're
on
just
how
about
much
to finish
time I
that.
waste.
Hey, you know what? It's okay. If you feel like you want to waste time, that's all right. And you know why?
Why is that?
It's fixed now.
Wonderful.
It works again.
Alright. Last we left off, we just got through the ashtray maze.
Yes, one of the coolest parts of the game.
Which I still choose to believe is named such because it looks like a place that smells like an ashtray.
Well, you did pick up an AWE, an object of power once you left it, which was a cigarette and an ashtray.
I can't tell
Just
if
so
you're
you-
making that up or if I missed something.
No, you did. When you leave, you get three things. You get the ashtray object of power. You get a set of slides for Trench, and you get the Old Gods of Asgard CD or cassette rather. I'm not joking. It may sound like I'm joking because I'm laughing, but I'm not joking.
It really sounds like you're joking.
Okay, well hold on. I'm not joking, but let me pull it up. Let me put down this music stick, and I'll
To where
do
Dylan
it.
and I went, where the projector took us, where we met you. The Bureau opened the same door here.
Yeah,
but
upon
there's
completion
just...
of that, you should have gotten 3 items total.
Are you close? Just
Was
on
I-
the other side?
Was I supposed to pick them up? Or was I supposed to just, magically get them?
That's a good question. Well, you magically get the Old Gods of Asgard one, so I assume that you get the other ones too. Yeah. Yeah, I think... I could be wrong, but I think you just get it.
Well, if it's an object of power, what does it do?
Well, rather you get, you touch the ashtray and cigarette, and that's what transports you inside. You get the case file for the object of power once you complete the ashtray maze. Like, the object of power itself is it's a port key.
Right, okay.
Ashtray and cigarette, OOP-11KE. Containment procedure, no unique procedures required. This object is a steel ashtray with a maze engraved on its bottom. An ever-burning cigarette rests in it. When bound, the object allows para-utilitarians to create a maze of shifting corridors without adjusting the dimensions of the space around it. This maze forms wherever the object is placed. Only the binder can navigate the maze, though they may allow others through. This object is currently bound to Director Trench. Background. The object was discovered at Redacted by a team of rangers sent to a care facility for the elderly that had become the center of numerous missing persons reports. Local authorities also disappeared inside after responding to said reports. Agent Redacted discovered the object in a Redacted, which indicates that it was the source of the disappearances. Whereabouts of the missing persons are still unknown, though they are presumed to be lost in the maze.
There were casualties.
So, I mean, this has happened a couple times, it seems.
Communication is an issue. There is no sound there, as if you've gone deaf. And radios don't work. Correction, resonance from an unknown source, in part within the range of audible frequency. It acts in unpredictable ways, causing feedback loops that can tear you apart. Trench insists he heard something else. It made his ears bleed. Our equipment found no evidence of anything beyond the primary resonance. Trench's medical tests showed nothing amiss.
Thanks, Dr. Darling.
The projected image from each slide is a physical portal.
I really like the color palette of this area.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
very... It's very, like, 60... It's kind of... It reminds me of Team Fortress 2, honestly, in a lot of
good.
ways.
Yeah, a little bit.
I can just hear, like, the bongos going crazy in the background. But then again, I always hear the bongos.
They never go away.
Why don't the bongos ever stop?
Oh god, speaking of things that never stop, it might be time for another puzzle.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hedron
I happen-
containment.
What if I were to tell you... I'll take a look at that while you do this. What if I were to tell you that this one is incredibly easy?
Incredibly easy, you say.
Incredibly easy. Research and records. Hedron containment.
Expedition 3. We
Hedron containment and
located the
siphoning
source of the
practices
resonance
confidential.
in slide
Summary.
36.
Hedron and the
It is
Hedron resonance
an
are
entity,
arguably the greatest assets
living
this bureau has
organism
ever
of
possessed. The security of
considerable
Hedron
mass.
is
I made
unspeakably
it
vital,
Hedron
which is why
based
we
on
have
its physical
redacted
shape.
from the majority of
We were
Bureau
built
employees.
that?
This report
You?
details the containment
he bring
procedures
you here? Is
required
that
for the
why you
Hedron
brought me here?
containment chamber, including details on the redacted being pumped into the containment
You're
cell,
here.
mechanical upkeep of the residence
You're
siphons,
here.
and the arrangement of the
They
acoustic
have you.
pillars to dampen or amplify the sonic range of the chamber.
I remember
Note,
her from
for
Ordinary.
more information on the proper operational procedures of the
thought I'd
resonance
never
siphons,
see you
an
again.
additional report is coming soon. Refer to file
Hang on, I'm
731-1830 for the full report.
So hey, do you remember inside?
I do remember inside. Big, gooey, gross ball of gross. What a cool game that was.
I'm Dr. Casper Darling, and this is my final message. It's not the end. But after this, I won't. I exposed myself to Hedron resonance fully. It's changing me. I've seen. I've been shown so much. Slidescape 36 was where Hedron stopped the spread of another. Oh, it's terrifying. It really is. It's another source of resonance. Trench was exposed to this other. It will now spread. I've done everything I can to stop the Hedron resonance amplifiers. I don't know if it'll make a difference. I won't be here when it happens. I should have told him any more. I'm being sent one more lesson. Something wonderful, I think.
So, Dr. Darling was talking about Slidescape 36, the other, like, source of the resonance.
Mm-hmm.
The Slidescape 36 should have been the other one that you picked up when you got out of the ashtray maze, which essentially shows you, like, an alternate dimension that's just, like, filled with red. So I guess the idea is that Trench was like subject to that and saw wherever that dimension led, and bad shit followed.
Through here?
And it also seems like whatever that was is starting to bleed into all over this containment cell, considering there's just that red sand all over the damn place.
Rip it off to get in. Are you sure? Okay, I'll be there. Hang on.
Big story. Big. Oh my god, I love that you're just tearing those fucking things off the wall.
Big plot.
It's so satisfying. Every game should have this. Who doesn't want to just tear something out of the wall like a goddamn animal? Well, there's your plot.
You gave it, we let you into the hole and you!
No. Why did you...
He kind of smiles like a sock puppet.
Alright, time for big combat.
It is time for big combat. In fact, it is time for the largest multi-phase combat arena in the game, I believe. There's not too much to say about this part. Cleanse the siphons. Every time you do it, another wave of enemies will spawn, and by my count, I think there are 6 total. So you're gonna be
busy for a bit.
You're gonna be blasting. Big blast.
Go to hell!
And poor Darling. He deserved better. They all deserved better. I mean, it's hard to deserve worse, but still. Yeah, so, let me go ahead and take a look at this, slidescape here. So, slidescape 36, I'll read you the wiki entry here. Nicknamed Hand by Jesse and Dylan Faden, is an alternate dimension which can be reached through slide 36 of the slide projector object of power. The only surviving slide, aside from Zachariah Trench's damaged slide, Slidescape 36 is the origin point of Polaris and the Hedron. Slidescape 36 was one of many dimensions discovered by Jesse and Dylan Faden and their friends after they found the slide projector in the landfill of the town of Ordinary, Maine. There, Jesse and Dylan met a seemingly benign entity, which Jesse grew fond of and named Polaris. During the events of the Ordinary AWE, Jesse and Dylan opened Slidescape 36 to call upon Polaris' help to save their lives. Not long after, the FBC captured Dylan and the slide projector, and Jesse burned every slide except for Slide 36, which was recovered by the Bureau. One of the burned slides, the door to his dimension, was taken by Zachariah Trench. The Bureau's research teams, under the direction of Casper Darling, began organizing expeditions into Slidescape 36 within the research sector of the oldest house. There, Darling discovered the Hedron, a large polyhedron-shaped living organism acting as a conduit of Polaris' resonance. Darling became obsessed with the Hedron and had it moved to the oldest house, believing it would revolutionize knowledge. However, Trench became paranoid of Darling's growing obsession with Hedron. During one expedition, Trench fell under the influence of a hostile interdimensional resonance known as the Hiss. Darling, knowing of the imminent threat of the Hiss, began to distribute Hedron Resonance Amplifiers, or HRAs, to the Bureau's agent for protection. Trench, fearing a complete takeover by Hedron, used his damaged slide to unleash the Hiss into the oldest house, resulting in the Hiss invasion. Slidescape 36 has not been accessed since Darling's recent expedition. Well, there you go. There's more here, but the rest is spoilers. So it all comes down to this. We found Dylan. Dylan's like, hey, you should go blow up this thing, even though I hate you. And everything that we've come up to this point is Polaris basically telling us, you should go blow up this thing, because it seems bad. And then you get here, and it's just this big, foreboding pile of metal, and it's like, yeah, I should probably blow that up, that thing seems bad. Luckily, you have spent, you've invested in the combat in this game more than I probably would have when I played it. So you're in a good position to have this done.
I've already done something harder than this.
Exactly. Hey, look at it this way. You got out of bed this morning. Nothing this game can throw at you, or any game, can be harder than that.
It's true.
Humanity is beautiful.
And today was a hard one, to be sure.
Today, I don't know about you, but it's very cold where I am.
Oh yeah, it's been cold lately.
I mean, you do...
I am partial to it.
Yeah, for sure. Also, you live in the desert, so when it gets cold for you, it gets fucking cold.
Mm-hmm. And when it's not cold, it's fucking hot. And I can tell you what I would rather have.
Yeah, I agree with you. 100%. 120% even. It's like, the heat and the sunshine is a constant debuff on my character.
Oh yeah.
It's chip damage over time.
It is emotional chip damage.
It's emotional chip damage over the course of, like, decades.
And people wonder why I am the person that I am.
You ever lived in the desert? It's bad.
Fuck.
Florida is on the other side. Okay, so if we imagine that we're living in, like, a Darkest Dungeon style world for these rules, you're taking, like, between the two of us, you're taking an emotional and a physical chip damage from the way that the weather is, and, like, I'm having kind of the same thing, except the physical damage is replaced by, like, minor physical chip damage, but the emotional damage is ramped up because you live in Florida and you have to deal with people that live in Florida.
The ratios are reversed.
The ratios are reversed, but equal in nature.
That's right.
Living in Florida is like a constant strain on one's ability to relate and to, like, have any semblance of
appreciation for one's fellow man.
Yeah, I was gonna say any semblance of, like, benefit of the doubt, because Florida man is absolutely a thing. Florida man is perhaps the misnomer, because everyone is Florida man to some extent. It is impossible to drive in Florida without, like, succumbing to a deep-seated loathing. That's right. See, now I'm jealous because good friend JC is just loading up Teardown right now, and I'm like, man, I could really go for some Teardown right now, except for the part where it's $20 for an early access game. It seems really cool. It's kind of like open-ended, like problem-solving puzzles, which is great. I saw they were doing a stream of it on Vinesauce a couple days ago, and he, like, pulled up like a truck bed underneath a safe, right?
Yeah.
on the second floor, and then shot through the floor so that the safe fell onto the truck bed, and then drove the truck bed into the river. That's my favorite thing. That is the kind of shit that I love in any kind of sandbox gameplay. It's the same kind of problem solving that you come across with puzzles in Breath of the Wild. You're just like, this is not the intended way to solve this.
But it works.
It works. Hey, dog. How you doing, dog? Good day to dog hard.
Every day is a good day to dog hard.
Now, as far as I'm aware, there are 2 more Alan Wake things that we kind of didn't get to with Control.
Yeah?
And I'm going to see if I can find those and pull them up. Because most of them were, of course, added in the second DLC. But 2 of them existed in the main game before they came out as, like, just straight up Easter eggs. Let me see if I can maybe dig in and find those while we're doing this. Hey, dog. The trouble with these things is that it's so easy to look these up when you just have the name of it, but when you're like me and you're like, oh yeah, I totally remember having this thing, that doesn't actually do anything.
Doesn't help.
It is unhelpful. Oh, right. So, one of the objects of power that you can find in the Panopticon is a coffee thermos from the Oh Dear Diner. And along with it, you find a case file for the thermos, which is Oh Dear Diner Coffee Thermos AI73UE. No unique procedures required. Altered status is suspected, but unverified. Description. A blue coffee thermos with a white plastic cap and a logo of the Oh Dear Diner, located in Bright Falls, Washington. The cap doubles as a mug. The item responds to Formula I-16, yet no discernible altered effect has been discovered, other than keeping liquids warm for a surprisingly long period of time. It's also worth noting that the coffee from the thermos is always refreshing and strong, no matter its quality, before being poured into the item. The thermos was discovered on the shore of Cauldron Lake, outside the town of Bright Falls. Both are known sites of a recurring AWE. See Bright Falls AWE case for further information. According to witness statements, Alan Wake, see Prime Candidate Program entry for further information, who went missing shortly before the discovery of the thermos, had been seen redacted, collecting similar thermoses for a redacted purpose. It's a magic coffee thermos that keeps everything fresh and surprisingly warm. And the only reason that they have it under, like, it, by all accounts, it just seems to be a really good coffee thermos. They picked it up is because they saw Alan was, like, collecting them during his time there.
This, like, it's the kind of item that you would trade human lives for.
It's so goofy. Yes. I used to have a really, really good coffee thermos a long time ago. I think I broke it by using it too much. Tells you everything you need to know about me.
Poster comes down and there's nothing there. It's just the cell.
You know what this fucking thing reminds me of?
What?
I was wrong.
It reminds me of Dr. Octavius's fucking sun machine from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
You can't let me sleep. Beautiful tree. I just want to sleep now. Let me sleep.
Oh no! I'm choking on water!
Oh no.
It's okay. It's alright. We're good. Don't you worry about me. Maybe worry more about Jesse. So how'd you like Control?
It was good.
Control's a good game.
Control is a good game.
Not a particularly long game, but a good one. And hey, there's James McCaffrey. Northlight manager, baby, 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 yeah. Yep, okay, there we go.
There it is.
So, this is something that I'm very used to at this point. Because, like, every fucking Metal Gear has something like this. And it's one of my favorite things in media. Is you get to the credits and shit just starts happening, and then it's like, wait, well, maybe not, actually.
The fake out ending.
Remember when you get to the end of
Federal Bureau of Control. How may I
Toad's
help
treasure
you?
tracker, and like you beat the main campaign, and it's like, congratulations, you've unleashed Treasure Tracker 2.
There's the new
And then you
girl,
beat that one, and it's
standing
like,
around
congratulations,
daydreaming.
you've
She
unlocked
should be
part
getting
3.
work done. Who the hell does she think she is? The director?
Oh, this camera's weird.
This camera is weird. In fact, everything's a little bit weird.
I need to deliver mail.
That's right.
I need to tidy up the coffee cups. And scan
Gotta
the
go do your
forms.
job.
I can fix it.
These Double D-esque sticky notes. The fact that Double D only communicates to his parents entirely through sticky notes.
Don't let it go to your head.
Anything for the Bureau.
God, there's so much mail too.
It's okay, I got it.
Now get out of here.
No problem.
If this mail was damaged, this sequence would be Gray Fox.
That's right.
No, this is way faster than Gray Fox.
Let me know if you need anything else.
This is like a third of the Gray Fox.
Maybe less.
Maybe less.
Mission updated. Deliver mail. I need to tidy up the coffee cups.
That's right.
Haven't got all day.
I'll take
What are you doing? Earn that paycheck.
Gotta earn that paycheck.
Nothing wrong here. No siree.
Now, I get what they're trying to say, but this is kind of endearing in a weird way.
What do you mean?
It's completely stupid busy work, but my lizard brain likes watching the bars fill up.
Oh my god. Okay. We're at completely opposite ends of this because I fucking hate this so much. Like, not only is it boring busy work from an office perspective, but it's also just like, it's just buttons and bars, and I'm like, come on. Where's the Jessie we know and love?
Who does she think she is?
It's okay. I need to deliver the mail to his office. Where's the elevator?
You know you can sequence break by getting inside one of those tubes and riding it all the way to the other office?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just gotta get in the tube. That's all.
Yeah, come on. Although your shoes won't fit.
Please give me a chance.
Because why would
Shoes
they?
can't fit through the tubes. Stupid.
What are you, stupid? You saw something when you scrolled over that sign that I really like, which I appreciate when games do it,
Are you
and
sure
like
you are not lost?
you run your camera
Maybe you
over
find
text in the
yourself
environment
in
and
the
it pops up on
directions.
screen.
Yeah.
It's just one of those accessibility things that I really like.
Great.
Control doesn't really need
Just
it
waiting
because
for
all of
my
the
mail.
typeface is so
Just
like,
Leave it on
Flat.
the list, please. Take the outgoing mail as well.
but you know what I mean. Here's the mail you ordered.
What is happening? I don't like this. No, this isn't me. I'm not me. I can't.
You could take one of those tubes and do some damage with it.
I feel you. Oh, I've forgotten something. I can't think. Oh, I'm lost. Oh, where are you? I can't feel anything.
Wow, Bix, you really fucked
I
up.
don't want to be alone here.
You had 3 jobs and you
What
got
is
shot in the
this?
head.
I want it end.
Come on.
Wake up, please.
What is this, the first room of Metal
Go
Gear?
home.
It's okay, I got it. I'll fix the problem.
It's kind of weird seeing some of those guys walk around with like straight up guns in the office environment.
It's on the desk.
I guess that's the level of security that we're kind of dealing with, though.
That's right.
Trench has grown more and more out of hand. Do your job.
How much money do you think she's making for doing this job?
Not enough.
Does she know how dangerous the old director is? He's
Like, I would hesitate to say minimum wage because it's a government position, right?
Could still be minimum wage.
She's probably making a decent amount of money, though. Place this big? At least she's probably got good benefits. Although, how good could the benefits be if you're trapped inside of an endless recursion of time?
Either the best benefits or the worst benefits with no in between.
Your benefit is that you get to show up for work every day and know exactly what you need to do for the day. How many people can say that in your position? You should be
I need
thanking
to go
us.
inside. I need to keep moving.
Oh man, I don't miss working at an office.
I have a plan. An answer.
I
Here's
won't
the mail
let
you
them win.
ordered.
That's how it happened. The hiss got Trench first. He turned on the projector. He let them in.
Come on, Max.
I have
You should
to
be better at
remember.
this.
The hiss. The hiss is
How
the
many
enemy.
times have people tried to shoot you in the head and you've gotten out of it?
This is all inside my head. The hiss.
Didn't get
but
out of that one,
I'm
though.
trapped in here.
The camera's normal
Taking
again.
over.
Well, that's good.
This is nonsense. It stops now.
Yep. Just a normal looking skylight. In my normal looking office.
And a normal looking floating person.
With a normal looking office environment. No rambunctious, rebellious leather jacket for you. No. You get to wear a polo shirt like a responsible adult.
There's no rambunctious, rebellious
I will
resonance
fight
in
this.
here.
I will find a way to push them out.
There is not a hiss in the house presently. There's not a hiss in the house presently.
knew I chose
There's not a hiss in the house presently. There is a hiss in the house
I need my
presently.
gun.
You are a worm through time. The thunder saw storch you.
I know what I must do. Start at the beginning. I should have seen it earlier. This is my
I like the
mess to clean
specific
up.
mention of I
My
need
fight.
my gun.
No one else's. I am the director.
My gun. Mine.
Hello? This is Dr.
I am the
Casper
director.
Darling.
I don't know what that means, but I know that I'm the
have
director.
A classified message for the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. I have sad news. Hedron is gone now, but it was not a source. It was a catalyst. Do you understand? You must go to my office, the Endgame. It will be revealed.
Time for the last level. Take control. Seize your destiny. Carpe diem.
That's right.
Because you never know. Tomorrow you might be dead. Or worse.
You know,
you might
it's
be
funny.
the director.
These people, they go to sleep. They think everything's fine, everything's good. They wake up the next day and they're on fire. G.I. Joe.
Oh shit. When's Fensler Films needs to come back.
Yeah.
The world needs Fensler Films. Because you know what it would be nowadays?
What?
Now, Fensler Films would be making, like, Avengers edits.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so. Like, the G.I. Joe of now is probably the Avengers, right?
Probably.
I tell you what, at one point in my life, I had a big, like, DVD binder full of the original G.I. Joe cartoon, and I remember it being pretty okay. I mean, it's, like, jingoistic propaganda, but bright and colorful, but, I mean, it was okay. It was watchable.
Yeah, it was watchable.
Well, what is propaganda if not watchable, huh?
Hold on, I'm stupid. I'm stupid,
Well,
and
I'm with you.
I may or may not be with stupid.
Well, whoever is stupid, the other one is with stupid, so we'll need to figure that out. I volunteer myself to be stupid.
Feel you, I can't. This is what Dylan wanted all along. But there's something, I can feel it, but I don't know what. The motel is a place of power, of change, a place to pass
if one of
through,
us is gonna be stupid, it's gonna be me.
everything. This is a dream
We have an
inside my
established
head.
dynamic.
Why shouldn't it take me anywhere I want to go?
Visit ordinary, where nothing ever is.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Jesse Faden wants you to visit ordinary, where nothing ever is.
That's right.
Polaris. I imagine that they probably sell those posters.
Really?
Probably.
I wonder if Valve... What? Oh. Now, Dynamite may or may not be something that gets claimed. I don't know. I guess we'll find out, huh? We'll find out when we put it on YouTube.
I can't not watch this.
No, go for it. Dr. Darling is the best. He is my favorite part of this game. It's so awful and so great. He's like mugging for the camera and everything.
Yeah.
It's like a Devo video. All of these outfits are so good.
This is so weird.
Oh man.
But it
Hey,
is
guess
my
what? This
head.
game is great.
You're
The Federal
such a
Bureau of
weirdo,
Control
Jesse.
Records.
Grow brighter around one constant. They revolve. Hedron is dead, but you're alive here in me. Maybe Hedron put you in our heads when we met her. Maybe you were always there, and she was just trying to teach me how to trigger you. Maybe I'll never understand. Maybe I don't need to. Trench was the first to be corrupted by the hiss. Slowly, over the years. His need for control only made it worse. It was Trench who took the projector to the nostalgia department. He opened the door to the hiss. Just like that. With Hedron dead, the hiss tried to corrupt me too. But I'm stronger than them. We're stronger. They're waiting. They'll try to stop us.
What if I told you that the lyrics, in fact, mattered for the multimedia that is Dynamite?
I believe you.
The entire it's literally just like recounting the fact that Jessie came in and started kicking ass, and she's really powerful, and everybody thinks that Jessie's a badass.
I knew I had to end her journey.
That's pretty much the whole point.
I had to wake her up. I had to rip down.
What a cool environment this is.
It's a cool environment.
What a cool game.
To make her see.
This is the part where, I mean, this is the end of all of the parts that have been like this for the past 20 hours or whatever, but this is the part where commentary completely fails me, because I'm just looking at the game and I'm like, this is a really fucking cool game. I like what Remedy does. It's just so neat.
I know he's still there somewhere. Locked inside. I know, because that's how it was for me.
I would love for you to be able to get to this part and like the frame rate just dies.
It's kind of dying a bit.
Like it just goes to 1 frame per second the entire time. So, you notice what's going on here?
I noticed that I'm one-shotting everything.
So, because of the fact that you are now in the end game, the board saw necessary to give you the power to deal with level 30 enemies. And up to this point in the game, the highest they ever go is 6.
6 to 8.
And now you're just one-shotting level 30 enemies. Because the board is like, okay, this is important. She needs this.
She needs to win.
She needs to win, but she's also, like, she's proven herself worthy of winning. These are the stakes, kids. At one point in my life, I owned a jukebox. I would really like to have another one. I got no room for it. Massively impractical. But I would like one. I have a real affinity for, like, objects
Old technology. And objects that are associated with greasers.
Maybe a little bit. You know what? Maybe a little bit, because I was about to say, like, I have the ones that I was gonna point to were like, I really like the concept of a jukebox, or I really like the concept of like a billiards table, and both of those things are way too big to be able to put in my house. Or like a pinball machine. Here's a question for you.
Yeah?
If you could have any arcade cab in your house, what would it be?
I would have... Do I have to pick one? Or can I have a set?
The only thing that you can't pick is like one of those things that's like 400 games in one or whatever. Like you can't plug a mister in.
Okay. But I can choose like a set of multiple arcade cabinets that share a feature? Or
Yeah,
like...
you can do that.
Okay. All of the Metal Slug cabinets.
Alright. I would get, yeah. I could see that for sure. I have a real weakness for original Galaga.
Yeah.
Like I would probably put a Galaga cab in my house. Or I mean, if I could go like balls to the wall, improbable size, I would get a Jubeat machine, or I would get that Initial D cabinet. No, fuck me. You know what it would be? I would get a Dance Revolution, a DDR Supernova Mega Mix. That's what I would get. Whichever was the one that had either Catch and Naoki or Butterfly by Smile DK, I would get those. That thing is way too... I can't imagine like the amount of power that thing draws.
Oh my god, you're super right.
There used to be a... in the university that I go to, there used to be a locally owned like restaurant in there that was staffed by students and it was like a home institution. And inside they had foosball, they had all that stuff. They also had Tekken, and they had like a straight up DDR tab. And fucking coolest thing, they had a Marvel vs. Capcom thing. And this was before I knew what those were. Like I was a tiny baby child at the time. I believe that place is now a Chili's. Which is unfortunate. Yo, UCF, that shit is boring and shitty. Bring back wackadoos. What's wrong with you? They had amazing burgers and really, really good onion rings. And a fucking DDR cabinet.
And a fucking DDR cabinet.
Bring back DDR. Also, hey, guess who owns DDR?
Who?
Konami.
Yeah.
So they've got Konami, they've got Metal Gear, and they've got Yu-Gi-Oh! How come... And then you take into account all of the things that I love that EA owns, and it's like, how come all of the cool stuff that I like is owned by these evil conglomerates?
I guess cause them's the breaks. And joy is a distant memory.
I guess the real solution here is coming to the conclusion that evil-ass conglomerates own everything. Technically.
Because they do.
It's really hard for me to enjoy, like, Disney stuff in general anymore, because I know that you never have, but I definitely did. I really like Beauty and the Beast. It's probably the only one that I can still enjoy, because I can separate it as, like, a stage show and an album. But pretty much all the rest of them, like, I have a hard time even thinking about going to Disney World, because that would include, like, giving money to Disney. Not that they need it, like, not that my money makes a difference, but, you know, don't support evil companies. I wish that Disney wasn't super evil.
I'm over
But
it.
I feel like I've gone through periods in my life where I was over it and then not over it and then over it again.
That sounds like you.
Doesn't sound like me.
Also, the game hung up for a second there, and I got to hear the full version of the launch sound. And I don't know if anybody at home got that, but it was super cool.
Sound design is really good in this game.
Sound design is really good in this game. And look at all these items they're giving me.
Look how well that they appear on the map now that the color palette has changed to nothing but red. Red, other shades of red, and black.
It's almost as if this place was made for me.
I have a question for you.
Yeah?
A technical question. Are the black, is like the blackness being crushed, or is it HDR black?
It's HDR black.
Okay, that's good. Because you don't want the crush. Despite what Julie and Casablancas might tell you, you don't want the crush. Did you? Of course you would. You would get that. Man, society was not ready for random access memories when it came out.
Oh god, the red is gone and now everything is green.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Dylan's in a coma. I don't know.
That's
if
what
there's
I
anything
want.
of him left in there. If he'll ever find his way back. The portal's been closed.
You
but
should
the hex is still
return,
in the oldest
and
house.
like all of the color palette has
The
been
lockdown can't be
replaced
lifted as
with
long
just
as
the
any
black and
trace of it
purple
remains.
checkerboard error
I'm
pattern.
working on a solution with my management team, but there is still a long road ahead.
That would make
I'm
this
the
place
director
really hard
of
to
the
see
Federal
anything. Oh my
Bureau of
god.
Control.
Oh god, don't
We're
even
in this together.
don't even talk about that.
Trouble in Terrorist Town starring Jesse Faden.
God damn it.
No, guess what? This is the coolest map ever. I really wish you guys could see it. Hey, that's Control.
For real this time.
For reals this time. No Mission 52 Sahelanthropus boss fight. None of that. It's the game.
It's a game, it has an ending. What more could you ask for?
In fact, if you did want to ask her more, there is still another DLC in there somewhere.
That's true.
What do you think of Control?
I think it's pretty damn good.
It's interesting seeing them evolve, I guess, over the course of their games. And like Control to me feels like the evolution of Max Payne more than the evolution of Alan Wake, which is kind of interesting because while it doesn't have the like the slow-mo mechanic, it does have like the boxed in office-y environments with a lot of gunplay and like the movie stuff that they tend to get, like the FMV and the TVs that you come across and all of that stuff. It feels like the final evolution of the TV and game hybrid that they've been trying to make for so long. And seeing some of those concepts realized is really interesting. And it's kind of for that reason that I think it's really cool to see James McCaffrey here. Because a lot of this does play off of a lot of the gameplay and the things that you find and the things that you do plays off of Max Payne, whereas the story plays off of and is a continuation of Alan Wake.
Very much so.
To the point that it was kind of fucking nuts, actually. You don't often get just like straight up stealth sequels. And it's maybe one of my favorite things that something like this can do. You remember that? Remember that thing that was really cool, but it was a cult hit and didn't sell well, and everybody wanted a sequel? Well, here's a sequel 10 years later, and we didn't tell everybody until they found it for themselves.
That's right.
And even okay, so a criticism that I think you could lodge at the way that I approach this game is if you were totally uninterested in Alan Wake and you just wanted like nothing to do with it, that's fine. Because Control in and of itself is still a totally serviceable game by itself. Like its fiction is overreaching in a way that overarching in a way that kind of dwarfs Alan Wake if you're not specifically looking at those in context. And outside of the context of Alan Wake, Control is just a complete, solid, good experience. And I think, there's something. I didn't actually realize that Petri Alanko, who did the music, also did the music for Alan Wake.
Cool.
That's cool. The only reason I know that is because I've gotten copyright strikes for some of his music in the past. Good music. That's why I used it.
I will say, this game is not without its problems that we talked about earlier, but the ending fake-out? Okay. The ashtray maze pushed it from like an 8.5 to a 9, and then the ending fake-out pushed it from a 9 to a 9.5.
Yeah, I would agree. Because the whole game, it's got a story and it's got a ramp up to it, but it's such a slow burn that it almost kind of feels like it's not there.
But it's there.
And then towards the ending, like this last episode, for the hour that we've done this, almost exactly on the dot here, there was a lot of just silence and watching cutscenes because there are a lot more backloaded story moments that kind of don't show up until the ashtray maze. And we got some of it paced in a little bit better because we did some of the DLC beforehand. But if you just go through the story as it was before doing the DLC, you get gameplay, and then story at the end. And it's not like it doesn't work. It's just interesting. It's weird. But there are definitely there's some not so great stuff with combat encounters, especially in the early game. But I mean, eventually it is a slow ramp up in your abilities to being able to deal with more and more too.
The pacing of the combat it's fine. It takes a bit to settle into it. The only real complaint I have about the way the game plays is the lack of damage feedback. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I could definitely see it like boxing you into corners a couple of times just because it's like, well, it's so easy to take damage so quickly that you should be able to know.
Special thanks, Hideo Kojima.
Hey, guess what? Hideo Kojima's in this game. I don't think we found him, but he is in here.
You what?
Yeah. I forgot that he was in the fucking thing, and I was gonna be like, hey man, at some point we should go back and take a look at this thing, right? Because I said early on that there were like 3 or 4 Easter eggs that we needed to see.
Yeah.
2 of them are Alan Wake. One of them was, I think, something having to do with music that I forgot. And then one of them is Kojima. And I forget which room he's in, but he is a character in this game. And the reason that I know that he's a character in this game is because Sam Lake is a character in Death Stranding.
You are the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. The crisis is not over. Your work is not done.
Shawshank Redemption. That's the name of the movie
That's right.
I was thinking of earlier.
Go back in and do as many side quests as you want.
But that was it.
New mission, the Foundation.
Yep, that's the other DLC.
Okay, I guess that's what we're doing.
I like that. I forgot about that line. That's a really good Brick joke.
Jesse Faden.
At the very beginning of the
Director
game,
the Federal Bureau of
she's like,
Control.
it's like there's a hole
I still
behind a
don't quite
poster,
believe
but
it.
then all you see is the poster, so you think that that's all there is in the
You
room.
always knew
It's like
where
that
we were
prison
headed.
movie. What's it called? Shawshank Redemption.
Didn't I say Shawshank Redemption at the beginning?
You might have said Shawshank Redemption.
I want...
Is your...
You know what I want?
Do you want the record to show that you said it?
That's right, and I mean that literally. I want you to, when you're uploading this later, I want you to go back, and if I said Shawshank Redemption, I want you to edit it in.
Okay.
Make a note of that.
I will make a timestamp of this. And in the meantime, is your suit like shimmery and sequin? Or is that just the lighting in that room being weird?
It's a little bit of both. Here's how it looks with normal lighting. You can kind of see it.
I will be able to see it in roughly 20 seconds, I'm sure.
Take a good look, because I'm about to change out of it.
None. Looks like you got shifted.
Take a good look, because it's the best you can... Okay, yeah. It's just a very... It's like a fine Italian shiny suit.
Just gonna go back to the default look.
I see. Yeah. So there is an item that you can pick up. You remember the sensory lab where we found My Dark Disquiet, the Poets of the Fall song?
Yeah.
There is an item that you pick up in there that starts a mission, and that mission is how you get to his cameo.
I can't believe I just never did that.
Maybe so. It could have been that we picked up the item and just never looked at it. I mean, anything is possible, right?
Anything is possible.
I'm gonna take a look and see if I can find a deeper explanation of exactly how to get to this thing. Uh-huh. Yeah, okay. Okay. And I think I have an image here.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
To play the mission narrated, you'll have to play the season. You'll have to get the season pass DLC, which is available for $25 and comes with 2 large story expansions. Fuck off. But we have it. Travel to the extrasensory lab connected to the parapsychology area of the research sector. In the lab, you find isolation pod number 4, and there's a note next to it.
Okay.
We should absolutely do that.
Should we do that now before I do this?
No, you go talk to the board.
Yeah, that phone's ringing. Can't just leave
That
him
thing
hanging.
is... You can leave him hanging. You're the fucking director.
I feel Darling reached out to me through the hotline.
They're here on your time, on your dime.
I have a feeling he and Trench won't be the only caller.
Time is money, and I'm rich.
Situation/crisis/uh-oh. We demand your attention/moxie. Oldest house is in danger.
That's pretty good.
The Foundation. That was Auti's vacation spot. We need to check this out.
I really like the way the board's dialogue is written.
It's really good. Post-haste.
Post-haste.
There is a particular version of this that is really, really good. I
Yeah.
don't know if we found it or if it comes later, but at the end of the game, they specifically mention, like, we need you for a future event / expansion.
I like that.
There are not very many like creators that do the fourth wall breaking thing well, but Remedy, it's their whole shtick, and they do it really well.
It might as well be.
Remedy is all fourth wall breaking and satisfying third-person gun combat.
Yep.
Like across all of their games, except I guess for Death Rally, that's pretty much what I come across. And I don't know that Death Rally counts.
Where was this place again?
Parapsychology, I believe.
Parapsychology. Where is that?
It's under the research division.
Oh, here we go. I found it.
Yeah. And there should be sections within sections within sections. Yeah, you need to go to the extrasensory lab, which is connected to the parapsychology area of the research sector. So once you get there, you'll probably have to take another look at the map.
Almost certainly.
Get the thing you need to know, it's the map. It's the map.
Imagine that gets us claimed. Imagine.
RIAA, no swiping.
Extrasensory lab. I have to follow these signs.
It's like you're playing Morrowind.
Oh no.
Why does everything look so bad? What's that big fucking weird monster thing? I'm just imagining a situation in which you're watching like an episode of Dora the Explorer, and it should be on pod number 4, wherever that is. Oh, you may have picked it up already.
I don't think I've been in this room before.
I want to say you've been in here.
There's an audio log here, but I can't interact with it.
Maybe you need to purchase the season pass for $25, but don't worry, you'll get 2 large story expansions. That's strange. I mean, this is definitely the room. It says that if you don't own the season pass, the note will not appear. Which
but I have
the Ultimate Edition should have, yeah. Take a look through your missions. The missions that you just have backlogged, I guess.
What would it be called?
It would be called Dr. Yoshimi Tokui's Guided Imagery Experience.
Nope.
Well, let me see if I can find any bugs for this thing. Because that's really unfortunate.
I feel like I've been ripped off.
I feel like I've been ripped off too, because I was waiting for this.
Here's a note. Sensory tank purpose.
Sensory deprivation tank is meant to heal Daredevil after he gets fucked up in that movie fighting Jessica Alba.
That's right.
Wake me up. Wake me up inside. Correspondence, sensory tank. Sensory tank porpoise.
Porpoise.
Darling here. Some of you were curious why I had these sensory deprivation tanks installed. I thought I'd shed some light on the subject. Maybe some of you have heard of Dr. Yoshimi Tokui, the man behind the hugely popular guided imagery experience tapes. Apparently his tapes go beyond the normal meditative qualities of such things, but create genuine hallucinatory visions in some listeners. Or so the reports say. We brought these tanks in to test Dr. Takui's tapes for ourselves. Plus, there may be some stress-relieving uses for the staff down the road. I think we could all benefit from some time at a dark, enclosed space. Don't you? if you have any more questions, feel free to stop by my office. You know where it is. Yeah, it looks like this might have been changed. Also, go into your missions again. See if you can find anything named Isolation, because it's named different things on different platforms.
Isolation. Nope.
Okay. That's really interesting. Yeah, I'm seeing, Uh-huh! Oh, I understand. I feel really ripped off.
Yeah?
Isolation is a PS4 exclusive mission. Which makes sense.
Makes sense.
Makes sense for Kojima. So, here's the deal. Okay, so, since I guess we can't do it ourselves, the whole mission is basically you go into a sensory deprivation tank, and you're walking around interacting with items in that kind of weird, trippy visual style that they were doing before with, like, the lake and the mountains and everything appearing in view, stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And Kojima, in Japanese, is, like, doing a guided tour talking about a couple of seagulls fighting over a bag of jalapeno tortilla chips.
And that's the mission?
That's the mission. There's no combat. You just touch items and listen to Kojima talk. And apparently it's a PlayStation 4 exclusive extra. I was really looking forward to seeing that. That sucks that it's not here, but the good news is Sam Lake is totally in Death Stranding, and I'm pretty sure that he's in the PC version as well. What a... that's unfortunate. Console exclusivity is bad and needs to end.
Needs to go away.
There were 2 really substantial missions that they had as, like, platform exclusives for Ground Zeroes. They had Deja Vu and Jamais Vu. And both of them eventually got unlocked on all platforms. And it didn't take, like, a long time for it to happen either.
Okay, let's try opening it.
I saw this earlier. It seemed really important.
You know what the Foundation here reminds me of?
What?
Ash Lake.
Yeah?
Also, what's with you, like, glitching and zipping on the ground there?
I thought you would appreciate it.
I do appreciate that. I wasn't sure if that was Twitch doing a thing or if that was intentional.
The board said this was an emergency.
Because you never know. Is something happening on screen that seems like it might be the worst thing ever? It might be Twitch.
It might be Twitch. Or it might just be our content.
Or it might be OBS. Or it might be our content.
Looks like no
These 2 guys talk on Twitch. One of them's got, like, this deep voice. Probably sounds like he has a beard. The other one just sounds like trash. It's like garbling in my ears. I wish it would stop. Welcome to the Foundation DLC.
Let's see what we've got here.
Aptly named. You wanted more SCP, you get some more SCP. Whereas AWE is the Alan Wake expansion.
Having a field day down here.
The Foundation is like the SCP Foundation expansion, in intents and purposes, anyway.
I am expecting some weird
What's
shit.
that light?
You know what this area looks like to me?
What?
It looks like Red Faction Guerrilla, but pretty.
Yep. That's kind of where I was going with this. Is like, am I on Mars?
Is there life on Mars?
bottom of the oldest hell.
Lots of nooks and crannies to
Marshall?
grab a bunch of
How was
garbage.
she on the hotline? Unless
You want to throw
She's
rocks at
dead.
people? We got you. Got stalactites if you want to toss
she
those.
seemed like the kind of woman who could survive anything.
That big chasm in the ground reminds me of a later episode of Angel, where they eventually walk into a place that is called the Well of Souls, and it's essentially just a really, really big chasm that's bottomless and goes all the way to the other side of the world and like houses the spirits of the lost and dead. It's neat. It's also one of the most depressing episodes of television I've ever seen. It's got a really good name too, which is the hole. There's a hole in the world.
It's a pretty good name.
They have this this gatekeeper guy who guards it with his life under oath, and he essentially just looks like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. And his whole deal is that he hates answering questions because he can't lie. And it's never like, it's never given any more thought or questioning about that. It's just like, people will ask him questions that are not like a yes or no question, and he'll get super pissed off. And he's like, well, what's his deal? Why is he freaking out? He can't lie. You just can't do it. It's just so weird. It's a weird thing that I really appreciate as something that just never gets explained. Reminds me of a very similar episode on the kind of other side of that equation, where they travel to hell, essentially, or a hell dimension, as there are multiple in that universe.
Obviously.
To grab a dude and get him out of what is essentially magical maximum security prison. And he's just being held inside this cube of everlasting fire. And you walk up to him, and he's just floating there in the middle of the room. He's flailing around, screaming. And he's like, hey, that guy seems like he's in pain. Shouldn't he... Why is he silent? Shouldn't we hear him? Shouldn't he be screaming? And the demon's like, oh, he's screaming. My will prevents him from being heard. You have no idea how much you can take. Like, oh god, it hurts, please stop. Or it just annoys the crap out of you. Oh, him? No, he deserves to be here. He's supposed to be here. And you're never told what that character does. All you know is that he's sentenced to this horrible hell dimension.
He's supposed to be here.
I think I actually showed you the design of that demon too. Sometime. He kind of looks like a Hellraiser dude with like a bullhorn coming out of his chin. All like jet black and shined metallic metal.
Yeah.
Metallic metal is the worst way I could have described that, but you get what I mean. Like brushed metal. He looks like, he kind of looks like the cover of H.R. Geiger as authored by... What's his name? What's his name that made Cable?
I don't know.
Rob Liefeld. Rob Liefeld, there we go.
Ah.
Mix acid with bass and see what you get. Genius with dumb. Wasn't there some video game not too long, like some fighting game that had Rob Liefeld on for wacky designs? It was like a Mortal Kombat or something.
The pouch.
The pouch.
Do you know about the pouch?
The pouch is where you find the pickles.
You don't know about the pouch.
I do know about the pouch. Rob Liefeld is bad at designing things. Rob Liefeld, like, takes a character and makes them 95% pouch.
Pickaxes now.
And the remaining 5% is belt. It's like Nomura, but instead of zippers, you get pockets. And not like bald, crouching pockets. Just pockets.
Just pockets.
He drew that picture of fucking Captain America with like the chest the size of a barrel. Do you remember that?
I do.
He's
What
like
the fuck?
He's like a middle schooler with a trapper keeper, but given an insane budget. What am I talking
relocation
about?
order.
Kids don't have trapper keepers anymore.
I don't think I ever had one.
I definitely had one. I got really bad at drawing anime.
Beware of dangerous toxic geysers. Fun.
That's right. Relocation order, you said?
Yep.
Let me see what I got here. Tom, you missed the good news. I'm sure the official memo will go out soon, but Northmore called an all-hands at the crossroads to announce that we're finally moving out of this hellhole and into the house proper. Bureau brass apparently solved the moving walls problem, or at least figured out a way to pinpoint where and when they happen. All I know is going up means goodbye darkness, goodbye weird lunches with that ex-Nazi scientist, and goodbye pissing into the pit. I know that was you, Barry. Northmore's ordering the Foundation sealed as soon as we can haul our stuff out, somehow convince Ash to come with us. He's the only one kicking up a fuss. This is long overdue. We've lost 11 men and damn near $10,000 in supplies moving between the entrance and the Foundation. And for what? Research? Ash is batty if he thinks that we want to stay here and sift through more sand for him. It's just rusted iron flakes anyway. You know that? We're breathing that shit in. Descent in the ranks.
Yeah, that's right.
I like the idea that through all of this FBC nonsense, there are absolutely dudes that are still just kind of blue-collar workers.
And they're just putting the work in.
It's essentially a construction crew.
Pretty much.
You gotta wonder what they're even gonna do once they're allowed into the FBC proper. It is moving things that are heavy, but you only kind of need to do that once.
Do you, though? Like where the oldest house is concerned?
Well, I mean, the idea is that you would put it inside a room and then hope that it would stop. Right?
But all you can really do is hope.
The astral plane
That's fair.
is cutting into our dimension.
That's fair enough.
What if this happens in the upper floors?
I still can't believe that
It'll
thing
destroy the
is
bureau.
just not on the PC at all. That's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, no. I'm looking at a couple of different areas and there's nothing. That's really unfortunate. It's just such a dumb thing that it doesn't... There's no reason for it to not be there, you know what I mean? I can't imagine that it would cost all that much in research. I was gonna say research and development, but I can't imagine that it would be all that much development resources rather. They're starting to make these random floating platforms look a little bit prettier though.
Yeah, there's a little bit more happening with them.
Although, you know what's unfortunate?
What's that?
This is starting to look like Destiny 2.
Yeah. Don't even talk to me about Destiny 2.
Part of me, like, a morbidly curious part of me wants to look up a quotes wiki and just find out what that stupid ship said. Because I remember all of it being off.
Marshall?
He says as he clacks into his keyboard.
Yep, that's the sound of you doing it. I know.
It's like when we're in the Discord call and you just get something from me that says untitled.png and you're like, well, what the... I guess.
Yep.
Who knows what this could be?